that will come down to the last week of the season, I think, for them to win the division.
Well, and the one thing, if they're going to watch, if Red Sox fans are going to watch anything specifically throughout the series, is I don't want to face Sir Anthony Dominguez. Like, if it gets to that,
he's nasty.
He's disgusting.
He's really good.
One of the best closers in the NL.
And he's got a great name.
Yes.
Well, that'll happen in the 9th inning, so chances are, it wasn't a good night if it comes down to him. But another thing, though, is like, hopefully we take at least one of the games. I mean, it's a bad look if we come out of that 0 for 2 after beating up on a bunch of bad teams, because they were the first team in late July that we played that whole month with a above 500 record, and we've only played the Yankees since then that had a above 500 record. So it's important to me to beat good teams at this point, as we get closer to October. So
it's so good, sir.
Well, I just want to see like the bottom part of the order hit. If Bradley continues what he's been doing lately against the bad teams and kind of gets hits against these good teams, then that would be pretty encouraging. Nunez as well, and Moreland's been streaky. I think Martinez is only going to play one of those games, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard Alex Cora say today that Mookie Betts would probably sit in the second game. So, and that's probably
that makes sense.
Yeah,
because Benny got today off, and he got half of yesterday off. So, I mean, they're getting their days off in, which I actually appreciate at this point in the season.
Yeah, and that'll probably be the game that JD plays then, because he'll have to be in the outfield. Now that I think about it, so. That'll probably be Mookie's day off.
Benny already got his day off. Or the Mookie day? Gotcha, my bad.
No, Mookie will be off Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah, and another thing, too, JD, I know he was my call-out, but he did not look good on a line drive there. And whatever, I think that was the night game of the doubleheader. When the ball, he didn't track it very well and took a bad route, and it went right above his head. And the Orioles were up 2-0 at that point. So hopefully his defense isn't suspect, I guess is what I was getting at.
Yeah, so, I mean, it would be nice to see our lower half players, like bottom half of the lineup, hit good pitching. That I do like that. The whole take from that, I really, really feel that one.
Real quick, like a little injury roundup. Do we know exactly when Blake's coming back?
Nope, and we never will.
You don't think so?
Oh, it's soon, because he did have a rehab start, I think, yesterday in Lowell, and he went 0 for 3. But
I'm really looking forward to getting Butler out of here and having somebody who knows the pitching staff enough at this point, to catch these guys again. Because Butler's got a game under his belt with them.
Yeah, it was a massacre. 2 actually, because one was with Evaldi, and then the other one was I think it was the nightcap, wasn't it, of the doubleheader?
Yeah, he played that second game and did pretty well. I mean, Butler's a good, solid. I like his story. I'm happy they called him up. Give him a little money, give him a little chance. He's been slumming it down there in Pawtucket for a while, so I like that they did that for him. But I can't wait to get Blake back. I love Blake. I think that he might have super utility, showing that he's a good catcher defensively. He can throw. He's athletic. He is a better option right now overall than Vasquez. Every single way. So he might be playing himself into a role in the postseason.
And it'll be interesting to see how Evaldi pitches if Leon is the one catching him on Wednesday night. Because if that ended up being the difference, and he might catch Swihart well, so I guess that'll be determined later on. But for as long as Butler's up, I hope that he's not catching Evaldi, because I think Leon can get him through 6 or 7 innings, and Evaldi can look pretty dominant. So And the Red Sox...
Yeah, it didn't go well with Butler, and that happens sometimes. So we just, back to the drawing board.
Yeah. And I was about to say, the Red Sox are killing it against interleague play. Aren't they like something like 24-3 or something?
They're really good.
Yeah.
They've been good this year against
They've lost twice.
Yeah.
Oh, twice.
And once against the Phillies in a, really close game.
Yeah.
I think it was 3-1 or something crazy like that when Dominguez came in and shut the door, basically.
Yeah, but it was 2-1 the whole game before that, leading up to it, too. So.
Yeah.
That was a Nola start, if I'm not mistaken.
We get to see pitchers who rake tomorrow, though. Sorry, Tuesday.
That's true. We get to see Porcello.
Yeah, and another thing about him is he can't pitch Toronto. Toronto owns that guy.
Nope. That's his daddy right there. And that's okay. And you know what? Everybody has that team, right? And I'm okay with that if the team is irrelevant. The Blue Jays are irrelevant. The Yankees not relevant. You got to pitch good against the Yankees. You just got to. Houston, you got to. Cleveland, you got to. But the Twins, the Blue Jays, the Orioles, if they got your number, so be it.
Yeah, they were wondering if Porcello might have been tipping his pitches a little bit.
It had to be something.
Yeah.
It's got to be something that organization knows, because that's what winds up happening. I mean, it happened in the World Series with Darvish. You see something, you lock onto it, and you're like, okay, we know exactly where it is. Just by where his glove is or something like that. Maybe the way he, comes out of his delivery. But he didn't look good in Toronto. He hasn't looked good in Toronto for a while, so I'm not really concerned about that start at all.
Yeah, and I mean, this start will say a lot, really, as to where he's at. And we must have at least one more series against Toronto, don't we? Or no?
Figure it out.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think we got at least one more, but we'll see when it comes. If he even has a start against them, so who knows how the lineup will, or the rotation will look.
At least one against Toronto. Yep, just one more.
Okay. Yeah, this season's flown by. I mean, we're only going to see Baltimore one more time as well. So,
it's on a stretch all right, so the Toronto series, right? It's on a stretch to where we go Braves, Astros, then we go to Toronto. Toronto comes to us, and then the Mets come to us. Hooray! And then then we go to the Yankees.
It's a good set right there.
So we get the Mets.
5 possible wins.
I'm excited about the Mets.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't get DeGrom by the time that happens. So
I feel like he'll skip that start to save his ERA. Let's be real here.
He could.
His ERA is historic.
Yeah.
That is really good. And you know what the crazy part is? Sale's coming up on it. He's only 0.2 away.
Isn't that crazy? Man.
He's probably going to win it for the American League anyway.
Oh, yeah, no, he is, hands down.
Yeah, I would say.
I think he's going to win the Cy Young, without a doubt. I don't think that there's a question, actually.
It's crazy
As
because
of right now, he's the Cy Young.
In April, we weren't saying this, though. It was all about Verlander and Cole and Severino.
Severino, yeah. Severino was my vote.
Which one of these Astros pitchers is going to win the Cy Young?
Yeah.
And it was all about will they split votes, and now it's down to Chris Sale and...
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully he takes it, and today was a huge step towards that. So,
Dave, here's a real weird question. Then we can obviously move on. Do you think he could throw a curveball out of that arm slot?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a sweeping curve.
Yeah, that's right.
It would be like Lester's curveball.
Makes sense. I was just trying to think about it. I was like, I don't know that anybody out of that arm slot that I at least remember. I mean, I guess Lester was I don't think Lester was that far to the side, but... No,
he's not, but it would just be similar movement. It would be a really slow slider, basically. It would be a drastic dip, too, but...
It would be different from what we've become accustomed to, and basically everybody on Twitter has fallen in love with, and my favorite pitch in baseball, personally, the 12-6.
Oh, I love the 12-6. Barry Zito, baby.
Yeah, Kershaw's is great too.
Yeah, he's the closest since Zito. He's the new Zito for that 12-6.
All right, Terry, where are we going to?
Let's talk about Kimbrel next.
For the 8th week in a row, I think.
Yeah,
it's concern.
Yeah, he's not making a good case for himself, and I know he looked good today. He finally got through a clean ninth, but let's face it, I mean, those were kids he was facing, and one of them was Mullins. I mean, that was his fourth or fifth game, so he doesn't know what to lay off of and whatnot. So since the All-Star break, Kimbrel's whip is, let's start with his ERA. He's got a 6.48 ERA. His whip has actually come down a little to 180, which is still horrendous for a closer. I'm sure that would probably rank last among all active closers. And another horrifying stat is his opponent's average against him is 281 since the All-Star break. And that's down from 293, which was scary because 293, that's almost like other lineups are hitting him at an all-star level. Because, and
especially with this team, right, we have to find something to complain about, and that's basically what we do. We sit in chairs and talk about something that's wrong with this 85-win team. But 280 is concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been struggling since the All-Star break. I actually saw a graphic the other day that out of the top closers in the league have been struggling since the All-Star break, actually. Chapman, Kimbrel.
I think Diaz is the only one.
Diaz is the only one that's been good, and I don't know what that means. I mean, it could just mean that teams are just getting hot out of the break and whatever, but I think the pitching staff and the pitching coaches have been so good this year, working with each other and finding little things. I think Kimbrel will be okay. It was encouraging to see him yesterday. I was like, oh, this is it. And then he gives up that solo shot, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then comes back in and, closes the door, and you're like, okay. And then today he, got the save, didn't give up any runs. So that's nice to see, and I think he will figure it out. But it is concerning, of course, and it's one of those things where, like, all right, well, he's been our rock all year, basically, and now the All-Star break rolls around. He's like, okay, now I'm going to take it easy. But the cause of concern, yes, but I'm not freaking out yet.
He's a choke artist, though, in the month of October, and there's only 2 other appearances, so...
Yes, so the half the team has some demons, pitching-wise, to kind of figure out. I mean, really, the whole team. The
lineup hasn't been great.
Besides Devers and Benintendi, literally the only 2. I think everybody else has to, kind of put their demons aside, get a win, get a Game 1 win. Have Chris Sale, I need Chris Sale to come out in Game 1 of the ALDS and throw 7 or 8 innings. I need Kimbrel to come out and get a save. I need the lineup to score 3 or 4 runs. That's what I need.
Yeah, I mean, but just with Kimbrel specifically, it just looks even more ominous when he has that postseason monkey, and as we're approaching it now, he's struggling, and people aren't swinging at that rising fastball anymore. And why would they? If they can't hit it and they think it's not going to be a strike, why would they swing at it? And I think that's what a lot of them have figured out. And so he's got to get a different out pitch. It's not just the hits. I mean, some of them have gone over the fence as of late, but he's walking a lot of people as well. So
yeah, that's the more concerning part, is the control for sure than the hits. Because sometimes, I mean, you'll throw 100 in a good spot and someone just gets a hold of it and tip your cap to him. But I think the location issue is a big thing in pitch selection. I think he needs to work on that knuckle curve more. I think he needs to break it down a little bit. And if he's going to throw that rising fastball, don't throw it at their heads. They know that if it's eye level, they're not going to swing at it at this point. So, and I think they'll all adjust to that. I think they as the Red Sox pitching staff are seeing what we're seeing, and I think they're working on it. I like to think so anyway, because of just how this team's been this year and how they've responded to things. And you look at like a Sale or a Price or a Porcello, and every time they had a little setback or a little in their delivery or something, they fixed it. So I think that Kimbrel gets it back on track, but this next couple series will be good because there's some good hitting teams coming up. And Baltimore's been good since the All-Star break hitting, but we got some real legit hitters coming up, so it'll be good to see how Kimbrel reacts, because obviously he'll be getting into the games.
Yeah, and these last few games, I mean, he pitched today. I think he pitched he pitched Game 3, and then he didn't pitch game 1 or 2, but I've been hoping all along that I want to see him pitch. I want